got a budget of about 34 billion. And what we have done is we've made available £160 billion of money for equipment. And I could give you the list of all the things that we're doing, including the aircraft carriers, the various frigates and so on and so forth.
Those the ones with the planes on or the ones without the planes
No, because they will have the Lightning. No, that's...
They will.
A myth. That's a myth. The Lightning has had difficulty over in America, but those planes will be there, and there'll be 2 aircraft
will they
carriers.
fly?
And they will fly, Ian, and those ships will be going to sea. So we've got some of the best equipment of any country in the world. No, we have, or we've got good equipment, and it will get even better. The Scout Vehicle Programme, 34 billion up sea. We are securing our economic future, so we can do these things.
Ian Hislops.
I mean, just, I don't want to overdo this, but the 2% isn't important. What you do with defence is you have a strategy, you know what you want to achieve with defence, and then you try not to waste money. And I'm afraid, I mean, one of the reasons our defences are in such problems at the moment is the catastrophic waste of money in equipment buying by the last 2 governments. It's enormous. You can't believe the billions they've wasted. Billions and billions on procurement. Totally inept. We have to do 2 things, not just say, here's 2%, here's more money down the drain. We have to decide what the armed forces are for, and after the last couple of conflicts, we do have to decide that. What are they for? And B, what do we need? And it's no good, Mr Cameron, saying they'll have whatever equipment they want if you're cutting the number of soldiers down to, what, 50,000?
No, that's not true.
The French police deployed more officers during the Charlie Hebdo shootings than our entire army.
Well, that's not right. No. We have 95,000 soldiers. Our army is 95,000.
And you are cutting that?
No, we're taking it down to 82,000. We're building up the reservists.
The reserves.
No, it's all right, Ian, but you know what? The best thing, if I may say, when you said we have to work out what we want for our armed forces, I agree with you. Regulars, so please don't do down the reserves.
No one's offering them disrespect. They're just saying it's a cheap option.
No, it's not a cheap option.
It is. That's the reason you get
There are many people who serve with great distinction as reservists, and they don't see themselves, by any means as a cheap option.
And why should they?
See themselves in times of contingency that they are there to come in and do the great job that they do, and that is what is needed. And all over the world, that's what America does. And they do it in Canada, they do it in Australia with great success. We shouldn't do down the reservists and the great.
Man up there in the second row from the back.
Natalie, you say that we should
normal and not in the Westminster world doesn't understand that.
I think they do get it.
And it's a steal anyway.
Yeah. Well,
I think they know exactly.
No. And I think it's a really important
It's the kind of thing Hislop would be up to. Let's face it.
But I think it's a really important point.
David Owen was the big one. And then David Steele was in the pocket. It was a spitting image sketch.
But if I could
the Tories have knocked off the idea and done it very badly, which is essentially their policy.
And David Owen always said... David Owen always said it was the wrong way round, and actually he should have been in Steele's pocket.
Yes, he was always a populist, wasn't he?
He was. Go on, I'm sorry.
But sorry, no, if I could just finish the point.
History
this is...
The 2 of them are not going to get together.
Absolutely.
They hate each other. They hate each other.
What, so the Tories and the Liberals don't?
They don't.
I don't hate Charles Kennedy.
Ian,
but you've worked together despite hating each other. This is coalition.
Ian,
it's what we want.
Ian, you've known me a very long time.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a terrible admission.
You've not learned anything in the process. But the...
Can I say something?
Yes.
Just something unpopular. I mean, they are entitled to vote, SNP. Yeah. They are allowed to return those people as their representatives. And if they do, then it's up to the SNP to take on responsibility for the whole of Scotland. They've got to represent the people who didn't vote for them in the referendum as well. So there's got to be responsibility on both sides. If we're going to end up in a coalition, which I think we will, the point of coalitions is both sets of people have to work together for the good of the union, which apparently, Scotland voted for.
Ian,
in a majority. So you can't just say this is a terrible betrayal. It's what those people voted for.
Ian, what coalition do you anticipate?
Well, I'm with Baker. I think Labour Conservatives the winner.
I think you can be sure that's not going to be the case.
Are you being serious?
No, I mean...
Kenneth, but he was being serious. The man with the spectacles.
Vote for what you believe in. Look at your local candidate, because that's who you're voting for, is your local MP. Look at the policies of their party. There's a great website called
Very
Vote for Policies.
patronising, suggests people don't do that anyway.
Well, no. I mean, people have been trained. People get leaflets through their doors saying
does that train them?
It's a two-horse race here. People are told. People have been told all the time.
Everything on a leaflet.
So people have been doing this for decades.
Joined ISIS, and he apologised to the families, and there was some criticism for his having to do that or doing that. Ian Hislop.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the problem here. Yes, it was a mess. The police did not ensure that the letters went to the parents rather than were just hidden by the schoolgirls. But he apologised for that. He then said that he wouldn't arrest the schoolgirls if they came back, which seemed to me, if they've gone to join a terrorist organisation, then that is an offence. So I'm not quite sure what the police were doing. What I think they were doing is overdoing it. And this tends to be what happens. This is very rare for me. I had some sympathy with the police. Essentially, the parents were saying, we did not police our children, you should have done so. And that, I think, is a bit difficult. We had various... On the one hand, and I totally believe this, you know, the Muslim community says we are targeted, we don't want to be snooped on all the time, we do not want it to be assumed that every time you see someone who is a Muslim, they are a terrorist. But then you cannot say to the police, you should be in my daughter's bedroom checking up what she's doing on Facebook. You can't have it both ways. So, oddly, I think I'm probably with you.
On surveillance, where do you stand?
On surveillance?
Yes.
I mean, like everybody else, I would like to see it done with fair and transparent review beforehand. So if they say, we really want to tap this guy, as they do at the moment, then you can do it. I mean, that's a fairly standard position, I think.
Charles Kennedy.
Don't think that they fit into society. There's issues with jobs and education.
But these are model schoolgirls. They're straight A's, they've got loving parents, they've done well at school. They're not... I mean, they may be vulnerable, but they're not underprivileged or dispossessed in any way.
No, they're not, but I think it's about creating an identity. People are disengaged with and trying to find their new identity. A lot of people came here from the South Asian community and they disengaged with those societies, and it's about finding a new Muslim British identity and disengaging with...
In terms of the caliphate and IS?
No, well, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's absolutely extreme, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous that this is happening. But we need to consider why are they going towards that? Why are they being radicalised? Why are you looking for the answers?
Well, no, we know.
I'll give you a theory. I mean, I think it's because a narrative has been allowed to develop which is attractive to young people who are not aware of either current affairs or history, which describes a very, very simple world in which good is here in the terms of the caliphate, and it's pure and it's exciting and it's new, and evil is entirely here in the West. And that narrative, photographed very well on the internet, told extremely well by funded preachers from all sorts of Middle Eastern countries who have come into other countries in Europe, that narrative has been allowed to take hold. You lot find it ridiculous. I do too. But we haven't done enough, and I think the Muslim community, and this is parents and all, have to do more to say, we don't buy this, we know this is not true.
Correct. But there is something else...
No, hold on. I want to go on. One point from you.
And just, I mean, look, Ian, I'm a massive fan, so I'm not going to lambast you too much. But the reality is... What you're talking about is this photographed clear image. It's that kind of rationalisation on this level that is just the insanity of it. yes, they're being portrayed this idea that, look, going over and the Caliphate state, it is what it is and it's going to promise you everything that you need to do. But what you're getting from over this side is illegal wars in Iraq. You're getting the atrocities in Gaza. You're getting all the mainstream political pastime that you guys are posturing. Please don't nod, Conservative lady, because I'm not agreeing with you at all. What I'm saying is...
I might be agreeing with you.
What I'm saying is...
I'm agreeing with you.
Right, you're absolutely right, and you've dedicated a lot of your your time to exposing a lot of this nonsense that comes out of the political mainstream. But what this gentleman is saying, and what you're saying, and there's a grey area in between. The grey area in between is disengaged, disenfranchised, all of these words, and then sweeping statements like the Muslim community needs to deal with this.
No, what I said, it needs to reinforce the narrative, and which is really interesting, saying these people are not in the mainstream Muslim community, they've dropped out.
Look, hold on. Absolutely, yeah, you need to reinforce the religion, but what I'm saying is that, from your perspective, it's not as simple as just they're promising idealism and what they're getting over here is negative. What they're getting is a complete confusion, whether it be from family, from faith leaders, and this idea that the Muslim community has got this single voice that just goes, everybody be good now. What world are you living in?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hold on.
Why don't you stop?
Ian Hislop.
Me?
You?
Yeah. Yes. Well, I'm the only other person who's been assaulted by Clarkson. He threw a biro at me live on Have I Got News For You, which stabbed me in the eye here.
Oh.
We had to stop recording. He refused to believe it was blood. He said it was red biro. And then he apologised afterwards. So, if he's going to be done for assault,
and I want
other offences.
You were there.
You were there as well.
I was there
too. It's a true story, is it? I thought it was apocryphal.
It's a true story. I saw Mr. Hislop give forth blood.
Blood. We had to stop recording. But look, that's just my personal history. Basically, my main objection to this is that the Prime Minister, who can't spend any time debating the main issues of the day, puts out a statement.
Yes.